All right, hey everybody. I know we're a little over half an hour late, but that was because I really am not feeling it tonight. But since we got Hot Wheels in the studio, we're going to go ahead and do a live show. This is episode 58 of the Twister and Hot Wheels show. As you can see, we're a little squeezed in the frame. Once I fix the studio up the way I want to, this shouldn't be a big issue. And yeah, we'll get started. So how are you doing? So how are you doing tonight, Hot Wheels?
I'm doing alright, just chilling like a damn villain.
Yeah, we're doing on Hot. Let's see how we're doing on Hot Wheels. Okay, we look good on Hot. I keep wanting to say Hot Wheels.
Hot Wheels, man. We doing good on Hot Wheels here.
Let's go to Twitcherific. See if we're super sexy there because the computer says that we're super sexy, and we're using only like 16, 17% CPU at most. So that's good.
But one of them things on there is almost a half naked, good looking woman there.
Oh, Twitch, yeah, the bikini stuff. Yeah, girls do that too.
Boing, boing.
Okay, so we look good, so I'm not gonna worry about the on there. So we're doing like over 4,000 kilobytes a second, so we're good. All right, so we're back. He's in black, and we're doing this episode live from the crib. And
From the crib.
I'm still debating on whether or not to wait till next year to start recording the shows and then doing a live stream once a month, and then the rest of the month is pre-recorded episodes, or if we should just continue to do this every Saturday. What do you think, Hot Wheels?
What is easier for you, man? It really don't matter to me.
Now we got the microphone pointed to your mouth so that the audience can hear you.
Well, yeah. It don't matter. Whatever floats our boats.
Floats or boats, okay. So yeah, I'm getting ready to get some more RAM for this computer. So because right now this is the computer we're streaming recording on. Oh, I didn't even start recording. Whatever. Um,
Holy shit balls, my alarm is going off.
um,
It's in that bag right there.
so
No, it's not. It's on the table or floor.
probably floor.
Ain't got lovely sound.
Yeah.
It's annoying. That's why I pick up for the alarm.
So, once I move this around, I have this computer set up. Getting some more. I'm maxing this computer and my other computer out at 16 gigs of RAM. Hopefully, that will make this streaming stuff work a whole lot better. And I got to go kill that alarm.
It's so not catchy. That's why I put up for the alarm. I can turn that bastard off as fast as I can. It's gotta be under over here, like where the water bottles and shit is. There it is, yeah.
Okay, there we go.
That means I need to charge my phone and shit and take my medicine. I'll do it in a little while.
All right. So yeah, tomorrow I'm supposed to be getting some RAM for this computer, so that hopefully this will make the C. Well, I mean it's only running at like 15, 16, 17%, so it looks like it's doing good. But I'm thinking that if I get more RAM, well, which confuses me because on the other computer I have the same amount of RAM that's on this thing, and is able to do a massive amount. Of course, that other one is an i7. This is only like a Ryzen 5, but still, you would think that I'd be able to run a web browser and everything, and this computer wouldn't go bananas. But maybe extra RAM will fix some of that, and we will be able to look super sexy. Who knows?
Super sexy.
And I'm sorry about the camera angle. I'm hoping that once I get this set up differently, because what I want to do is I want to move my desk, and then I want to put some camp chairs right here against this wall that we're currently facing, and then have the camera on the floor. And then that way we'll be more so in frame, and then I can move the camera back, and then it'll look a little bit better. But this is not a well thought out episode, to be honest with you, because I didn't think hardly anything about this episode. Just like every episode. Hey, why change a good thing?
Yeah.
So Hot Wheels finally gets to use his. I don't know if he used the mic stand the last time we was together and everything, but
Yeah, I think I did.
so he gets to use his mic stand again, which I want to get him.
I think it was something, but not. I don't think it was this, but it was.
I'll have to look, because anyway, I want to get him a shock mount, because I don't like the way these that came with the microphone works, because they're kind of stupid and you have to keep tightening them to make them work. At least with a shock mount. Of course, the thing about these mic stands is that this bolt comes unloose and the mics fall, so you kind of got to be a little careful. But these mic stands work pretty good. I got us running into my mixer. So, and I got all the mixing settings the same for Hot Wheels and I. I may end up adjusting the settings for Hot Wheels, because I think I got it about dialed in for me. But I need to probably what was I going to say? Probably adjust them for Hot Wheels. Oh wait, those cables go into the Black Magic, so I need to keep those. Well, maybe not. Hell, I don't know. Anyway, well, I am going to stream with the Black Magic, so I do need it plugged in. Plug it in, plug it in.
He's a mastermind for all this anyway.
There's no master and there's no mind to this. This is just pure insanity. So tonight I found out. I watched a video about a band that looks to be a cover band, because the two videos that I've seen of theirs was a cover of Nirvana's Heart Shaped Box, and what the fuck is the name of that song?
It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's been a while by Stain.
Yeah.
Stain. I watched both of those videos of Stain. I liked the video to Heart Shaped Box.
Not both of Stain. One is Nirvana.
Well, they know that. I said that. But I like the Heart Shaped Box cover they did of Nirvana's song.
It sounds good, but the video don't make sense for the song.
Well, I mean, if you watch Nirvana's
video for it don't make sense either.
yeah, cause
But if you know Nirvana, you know what the song means.
and then It's Been a While. If I remember the video to It's Been a While, because I haven't watched the video to It's Been a While in a long time, because it's not one of my favorite songs. I swear he's looking through old photographs singing about it, because he made that song up on the spur. He was writing the song, and then Fred Durst is like, "Oh yeah, come out on stage and let's do this song together. It's ready, isn't it?" And he's like,
That's outside.
"Oh well." He basically bullshitted his way through the outside with Fred Durst, because he hadn't even completely written the song yet.
And it's good though. I mean, I like that version.
And fucking Durst, he doesn't add much to the song, but
No, he just sits there, just sings like.
he sings the chorus, I think it is.
I can feel the waters out there.
I thought it was Let Me See the Lighters out there, but anyway, I haven't watched that video in a while either.
Well, I bought the Family Value tour.
Oh yeah, that was on Family Values, wasn't it?
Yeah, I got the '98 album
Anyway, my
and
point
'99.
is that in the video he's looking through old photographs about a woman he heard or whatever, and I swear toward the end of the video he falls asleep and a cigarette hits the floor and lights the place on fire. But I'm not gonna go through and watch that video again just to see. But in the new video, they gave it a happy ending where the guy and girl get back together and they hug and they're like, "Oh, it's so good." And it's like, but didn't Stain do another video? Oh, I think it was the outside video where he's climbing over a wall and he keeps climbing over walls. Or something.
Yeah, and then he looks in the holes in the walls. Like when he finally gets up the wall, he keeps on falling. And fall and falling and falling and falling and falling and falling.
Well, I mean, I can see why Spooky used that album to actually get him some because, you know,
But how the fuck did he get some with that song?
I don't know. I guess girls love that song. I don't know.
I mean, don't get me wrong, that song is awesome and all, but
Well, I remember this one time Hot Wheels and I, blah, Spooky and I was inside Walmart, and that song came on, and I go, man, I hate this song. And Spooky turns around and looks at this girl and starts talking to her about it. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I just kind of disappeared. I was like,
yeah, Spooky, like, he knows how to talk about stuff for hours.
yeah. If you ever got him on the phone, he could talk to you like 3-4 hours about anything and everything until he runs out of stuff to say. And it's like, and Spooky always is the kind of person that gives you the long goodbye because you're like, oh, bye. You'll be in your car and be like, oh, bye. And then he continues to talk, and it's like,
I remember that. Yeah.
so.
Even when you try to say goodbye on the phone, he's like, okay. And you start talking again.
Which is kind of funny because if you get him on text message, he'll text message you like paragraphs and a book of stuff, and then all of a sudden he'll just quit, and you won't hear from him for a while, and it's like, oh, I guess we're done. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so today I let Hot Wheels hear Big Dumb Face, which is Wes Borland and his brother. I think it's Scott. I can't remember Wes Borland's brother's name. First album together called, well, I don't know if it's the first album together, but it was the first album they did after Wes Borland left Limp Bizkit, called Duke the Lion Fights the Terror. And it's actually a really silly but really fun album where none of the songs is more than like 3 minutes throughout the entire album, because they, like 2-3 minutes and, maybe a minute max. And then when you get toward the end of the CD, the last song is like 19 minutes, and it's like the main song, and then there's a hidden track at the end of it, and I forget what the hidden track is or something. But anyway, if you guys watched that video I did where I watched Spooky and I react to the album that he brought over, because that album came out in 2001, and Spooky came over, and we made a video where we started out listening to White Zombie's Astro Creep 2000 about 3/4 of the way through the album, then go to Rammstein, and then the rest of the video is us reacting to Big Dumb Face, which obviously Spooky had already heard, but he had bought it and wanted me to hear it. And I kind of wish I had went out the next day or within that time frame and bought that album, because that's a really hard album to find, or it was a really hard album to find. But now, of course, you can find it on YouTube Music.
And Amazon, because I looked it up today.
Oh, how much is it on Amazon?
The first album was $5.99. The second album is $9.49.
See, I listened to the second album, and I'm not really a fan of the second album because I think the second one's called Duke. Where's Duke the Lion? He's dead, or something like that, and I didn't really like it. Of course, because I think the first one came out in like 2001, and the second one came out in like 2015,
2017, it said.
2017. Okay,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
keep saying 2015, 16, but
Well,
it was 17.
cause I looked it up when you were asleep and shit, and I was like, I mean, I was thinking about buying the first album and the other album, but I'm waiting on changing all my music on my other card before I put more music on there.
So they waited essentially 16 years to come out with a second album to that album, and it's like, oh, okay, cool, I guess.
And being honest, it was my first time hearing them today. And like the first song, it was heavy, and the singer was like kind of whispering metal. Like, it's get badass, but you can't understand them because he kind of whispering. Then the next song comes on, it's getting a little funnier. The sound of the music. One one of them sounds like country. Like,
Oh yeah.
like what is this? I mean, I like it too. I mean, I'm telling you, I really like it.
It was one of those albums where they go from one extreme to the other extreme because I think Wes and his brother was out to just put out a silly album, and I think even Wes is quoted as saying it was just a silly album that they just put out, and it, wasn't really meant to be took seriously. And of course, if anybody took that album seriously, I don't know how, because even when I first heard it, I was like, this album is silly. I mean, wow. But yeah, then Wes also did a couple other was in a couple other albums, couple other bands that I guess he started while outside of Limp Bizkit. I think one of them is like Black Light Shines or Black Light something. I forget the name of it, but that was one of his bands. And then he came back to the Biscuit, and Wes is saying, from what I've read, that Fred Durst is the holdup on the new album being released because Fred isn't happy with any of the. According to Wes, Fred is a perfectionist, and he's the holdup because he doesn't like any of the lyrics that he has written for the songs, and the music's all done. And Fred just can't get happy with the words he's writing, and we don't even know if it's going to be called Disco Elephant or the Stampede of the Disco Elephant anymore. So, but they're still hoping to have it out by next year,
Next year,
late this year, next year.
I ain't got to wait that damn long.
I mean, hopefully they go back to.
I bet the Corn going to make another album before Limp Bizkit gets that album out.
Probably. Hopefully, this album goes back to old school Limp Bizkit because I have $3 bill, y'all. I have Significant Other. I have hot dog flavored water,
Yep.
and no, chocolate starfish and the hot dog flavored water, which they apparently went to some truck stop and bought water, and the water tastes like hot dogs. And you all out there know what chocolate starfish is all about. I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got their remix album. Results may vary, and new old songs, and that was where I ended. I didn't buy whatever the album was after that.
The Unquestionable Truth
Unquestionable Truth.
EP. I had that, and they had that greatest hits.
I didn't have the greatest hits. I don't have the Unquestionable Truth. I haven't even heard. I don't even think I've heard Unquestionable Truth because I was just so tired of Fred Durst at that point that I was like, eh.
I mean, I don't have the greatest hits, but I do got the two new songs it had on it. It's Home Sweet Home, Bittersweet, and Why. They are good, but then and of course I got Gold Cobra,
Oh yeah, I forgot about Gold Cobra.
but it ain't that. I mean, it's good, but my favorite song on that album is Walk Away. It's a good song.
Is it like Bowler?
Huh?
Is Walkaway like Bowler?
Kind of, it's kind of slow, so.
Yeah, Bowler is one of those songs where it was slow, and Fred it showed us how whiny of a bitch he can be during that song. But anyway,
Hey, that song's damn good, though.
well, he was a whiny bitch in that song.
Depend, depending on you, it's done.
Well,
He,
uh,
he was telling the damn truth about. Okay, back in the day, Limp Bizkit helped me with my breakups with whores I dated. And
we're trying to keep this PG-13, so try to rephrase your wording a little bit. 'Cause I'm not trying to get any more 18s.
it's kind of hard but Limp Bizkit is like always helped me through everything, like with my breakups when I was younger. And it put me in a better place because I can let it out. This wasn't to them. Corn just make it worse. It just make me more angry.
And nowadays, people used to use Lincoln Park as another way to help with breakups and all that stuff too. So
And Manson just calmed me down.
yeah, but Manson sucks nowadays.
Yeah, but back then it calmed me down. When he was good.
Um. So yeah, I mean, because in the late '90s, early 2000s, you had Newell Metal, and it was Limp Bizkit, Lincoln Park, Corn,
Cold Chamber,
Coal Chamber,
uh, Deftones,
Deftones, and then
Seven Dust.
Seven.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess Seven does.
Uh, there's a lot more. I just gotta think of them.
And then you on the other extreme you had Slipknot
That's new metal to you.
because
Mm.
I didn't get it. I think I've said this before, but Spooky tried to get me into Slipknot when their first album came out, and for whatever reason, I just couldn't get into Slipknot. And then I got Iowa, and every time Spooky and I had to go to work at the car wash, we would put
Mm.
on Slipknot. And that album just really pumped you up for the day because that job really sucked because we was doing it in January, and working at a car wash in January just sucks. I worked with a dude that used to work with me that works at Auto Bell, the other Auto Bell, because I worked on Auto Bell on Spartanburg Highway, and he worked at the newer one that they built going up that little side street. He worked there, and he's like a manager there, and I'm like, well, that's probably about the only way you can get paid decently, and the job doesn't suck so bad as being a
Yeah.
manager. But yeah, we did that for about a month. I remember one of my checks being $6.66.
What?
Yeah, I got a check for $6.66. I went to the Bank of America, I think it is, to or whatever that big bank is. It might be First Citizens, I can't remember, and cashed it. Woo!
$6 at a car wash?
Yeah.
We need to get money from the tips.
Oh, I didn't work in the part where you got the tips. But what they did was they took out for the uniforms because they had to take out for the shirts, they had to take out for the sweatshirt, and then they made you buy your own pants. All right, so I went to Walmart to buy pants, and I got indigo pants. And the manager at the time, I don't know if he's still the manager there or not, was like, "Those indigo, not black. I want you guys to wear black." And even Spooky had trouble finding black pants. I went into like a crap ton of stores just to find these black stupid pants that he wanted us to wear. And it's like, and I was like, why does it matter that they're not black? Who cares? And I guess it's whatever. And after we got let go, because he was like, "Yeah, if I ever gonna need you guys, I will call you guys." And of course, funny thing is
Yeah,
Steven was working with us too. Him and Stacy Osteen. I think it was Stacy Osteen. And we told them that we got let go, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to go quit too." And then they quit, and then we just hung out the rest of the day. Spooky returned his sweatshirt and shirt back to get his money for the stuff, and I just kept it. It's still hanging up in my closet to this day.
what the hell, man? I would want my money.
Uh, the funny thing is I've seen some Auto Bell shit and Goodwill from time to time, so I guess other people had the same feeling that I did, where it's whatever. So, yep, I worked at a car. Of course, the funny thing is I was on unemployment at the time, and I didn't even tell them that I got employed because I didn't expect to keep the job, and I because I knew because I was still looking for something better because that was just something to do because I'm not one of these people that like to sit down, collect the cash, and not actually go out and find a new job because I want to go. I spent my time going out to get a new job, and that came along, and I was like, yeah, I can do this just to get through the winter, and then in spring, I'll kick into the high gear because I'll quit and just kick into high gear. Which ironically, I ended up working at Clement Pappas after that, which was like, yeah, money. So,
Money, money, money.
or maybe I actually it might have been I went to Manpower. Yeah, I think it was Manpower and then Clement Pappas because Manpower had me do some because they were um, a sourcing place that you go and then they'd be like, oh yeah, we have this job, that job. And the thing I hated the most about those places is I had to constantly call them because they didn't call me. I had to call them and ask, and they're like, "Oh no, no, oh we have this," and it's like, "But it's counting bolts," and it's like, well, "Who cares? I want to do something." I can't sit around and play video games all day. I wanted to actually. I like actually going to a job to have a place to go to, just do so. But yeah, so that was fun. A
What?
really crappy winter. But at least I had
Slipknot.
Slipknot, and the biscuit. And the thing about, and I know I probably have talked good and bad about Lincoln Park, but the thing about it is we was in Circuit City when Lincoln Park's Hybrid 3 came out, which was what 2000.
Mm, which one?
Hybrid 3,
That was
I think it's
uh,
2000.
2000. Yeah, I was about to say 2000.
So, and we was at Circuit City, which no longer exists. I think it's got an online presence like Radio Shack did, and I spent a lot of money at Radio Shack, but then they closed up shop, and I guess they don't have no brick and mortar places around here.
I don't understand why radio shut down.
I don't know. Anyway, I got Carla, Spooky's sister, Hybrid Theory, and she had that album on constant play, and I was like, I just can't take this. I mean, I tried to like Linkin Park at the time, but I just couldn't. And then, uh, about a year, I guess, after it was all said and done, I got Hybrid Theory again. No, I got their Hybrid Theory about the time that their second album came out. In fact, I may have bought it the same day. And then I went on to the whole Linkin Park journey through. I think the last album I got was Minutes to Midnight,
Yeah, that's the third album.
and then
Well, kind of, 'cause they have like an album.
a remix album.
Yeah, with it's an album with Jay-Z putting parts of the songs together. Part of Linkin Park, a part of Jay-Z. I don't like it. I hated it. I still hate it. I don't like Jay-Z. Jay-Z sucks really bad. I don't know. I don't understand why Linkin Park done that. Why? 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 Why?
Probably
Why?
just
Why?
for the
Why?
collab. But the last album I got was Minutes to Midnight, and I pretty much forgot about Linkin Park, even though I was aware that they did that song that after Chester played after Chester passed. That became the one song that every artist wanted to cover to pay tribute to Chester. And I'm like, but they had so many good songs. Why just that song? And I think Limp Bizkit covered that song. I don't know. Anyway,
What song are you talking about? Numb?
no, not numb. The other light song or the light song or the what was the name of that song? I forgot the name of that song. I mean, it's a good song. Don't get me wrong. I like it.
I remember when he passed away, and it was about a week ago, maybe two, and I got a pop up on my phone saying Lincoln Park is going to be live on YouTube in 10 minutes. And it was like 10 o'clock at night. Of course, there were in LA. I was like, I'll be down. I want to watch that.
One
So,
More Light. That's the name of the song. One More Light. That was the song everybody wanted to cover for Chester.
and then I watched it live. So, I can say I saw Lincoln Park twice. But the second time, it wasn't the same because it was sad. But, like, when they play Numb, they let the whole,
The audience sing.
the audience sing the song and everything. And they had, like, the microphone there, stand there, and the audience to sing the song. Then different band comes out or singers. Jonathan Davis sung One Step Closer,
I've seen that on YouTube. That's pretty good.
and Blink 182 done one song. Can't fucking remember.
I didn't even know Blink 182 was still relevant.
I didn't either at that time either. And then there's other bands I can't really remember. But it was good. It was live, free on YouTube. Like I'll be damned. And it made me so sad about our side anyway because he passed away and shit like that. But
Well, the thing about it for me is that Chris Cornell passed away 6 months before Chester, or a year before Chester, something really close.
I think about 2 years.
And Leo from Frog Leap Studios covered Black Hole Sun. And if you guys have an opportunity, you should check that out. That was really well. I mean, Leo does a lot of songs that's really well done, and then some of his songs are hit and miss with me because I don't like everything he puts out because
Yeah, me too.
I find some of them annoying. But then this other guy I used to watch on YouTube that does covers did a really good job on his cover for Chris Cornell. And Frog Leap Studios did the song Heavy for his tribute to Cornell, or not Cornell, but Chester. And that was really well done. So, and I think what really touched me in the feels about Leo's version of Black Hole Sun is that part where he says nobody sings like you or whatever. He pops up a picture of Canal, so that kind of hit in the feels. So
I just read something.
what?
They're working on a new album right now.
Oh yeah, they decided to return to music.
Well, I mean, last year,
Yeah.
but it ain't come out yet. But
And then Chester, and then the video, what is it, Cross the Line or whatever he did with that one guy, where Chester does all the singing and the guy plays the guitar during the entire video, and the whole video is the dude pretty much messing with himself. Um, that was a really good video and, thing for Chester. The band released She Couldn't track. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to look that one up.
recorded in 1999. It was included on the 20th anniversary edition of
Hybrid 3.
Yeah, on January 8th, 2021, they released a remix of Once the Pleasure by American electric duo Hunt Gig and the band revealed it was the first of many new remixes inspired by how you say
I don't know. I'm not even reading.
it is an album, but it's more to come. So
Reanimation to come.
yeah.
Oh yeah, Reanimation. I think that was the name of the remix album. Yeah, the remix thing they came out with. I think that was the name of it. I didn't really dig that one,
No, I didn't either.
but
I know they were going to go back, but I mean, they get a new singer.
well, Mike Shinoda is going to do the singing and rapping, I guess.
I guess I don't see nobody else is singing. Well, Mark, but that was 95, 98.
Yeah, that was the original singer.
Well,
So
I'm just glad it was Chester, Okay,
Um,
Chester can fucking I'm saying.
Minutes to Midnight was the last album I got by Linkin Park, and then of course they came out with A Thousand Suns, Little Living Things, The Hunting Party, and One More Light. And the thing about it is I remember everybody was being in love with Twilight, and I just couldn't get over the fact of sparkling vampires. I just can't get past that part. Oh, we're gonna go out in the sun and we're gonna sparkle. Uh, but they did that one song, "Leave Out All the Rest" or something like that was the song they did for Twilight. And this brings me back to the thing that drives me crazy, and I'm going to talk about it. Okay, here we go. One, Twilight. So, what's her face? I've got what her name was. What was her name? The girl that Edward, or was it Edward? I think it was Edward. Anyway, the girl that the male vampire falls in love with and impregnate. One,
You trying to say her name?
I don't know that vampires could get impregnated, but then it also brings up that movie Van Helsing, I think it was, where they had those cocoons or whatever with all the babies in it. That's just really weird and fucked up. Two, Dawn of the Dead, when that woman that had that was pregnant got bit by the zombie and turned into a zombie, and then the baby was a baby zombie. That's fucked up. And then we get to the movie which we both watched, and I basically said it sucked. I don't know how he felt.
I hated it.
Army of the Dead.
My God,
Was that the name of that movie? Army of the
yeah, Army of the Dead.
I have to say something, though.
Bullshit.
I have to say something. The girl that played the Queen Zombie, outside of makeup, she is pretty freaking hot. Of course, the woman that played the nun in in the movie The Nun in the Conjuring movie is hot without without the nun makeup on. Of course, she has a big old snoz, but you know whatever. Um, but where was I? Oh yeah, but the whole pregnant zombie alpha female thing, baby zombie thing where they take the baby zombie out of her body and then holds it up like it's Pride Rock from Lion King. That was fucked up. What is it with movies and undead babies? That just flips my mind. I mean, it is a stupid concept, and I wish people would stop using it. Okay, just let the zombie baby shit go because it ain't cute, it ain't funny, it's just stupid.
I watched one during movie. A woman was pregnant.
Gotta fix that fucking thing.
But anyway, I forgot the name of it. I had it, but these zombies came into this party or something, and this chick was pregnant, and the zombie went through her stomach, grabbed her baby, pulled it out, and start eating the fetus. That was fucked up.
See, I mean, zombie movies, okay. I realize that they're supposed to be gore and horror and blah, 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 blah. But that kind of shit, that's just not cool, bro. That's just not cool. I mean, sure, they have shows like iZombie and shit where it's like more of a comedic zombie thing. I can handle that. Even though that show is pretty stupid. I still can watch it and be like, okay, you know, I can take it for what it is. But that whole baby shit, that's just, ugh.
Okay, what about warm things?
One things.
Not warm things. It's warm something. It's about zombies and they start thinking and
Oh, that movie.
warm. It's
Warm Things. I think it's the name of it. That one's okay. I can handle comedy zombie movies. I can handle straight up, regular zombie movies. But
And,
you start involving babies and kids I can understand, but babies, I just can't dig that. That's just not my cup of tea. I mean, I don't know, bro. It's just
and his name was R, and that chick was named Juliet or something like that.
I don't know. I don't
And it
know.
was like a zombie love movie of Romeo and Juliet. Because the zombies on that, like, if the skin starts to fall off, you're like all crazy and you want to go eat everybody. But
I don't think I've seen that movie. But anyway, oh, and the other thing, what is it with zombie movies and fucking Nazis? I mean, it's like there's like several of those kind of movies, and I'm like, why? Why? Of all the zombie shit you can come out with, like at least give me a zombie Wolverine or a zombie Cyclops or some shit, or even Jean Grey. And I brought that up because I'm over here and I'm looking over at my X Men Origins Wolverine Xbox 360 game, and I'm like, there you go. Of course, apparently Hugh Jackman's coming back as Wolverine again in some new movie, and everybody's still wanting to see Deadpool and Wolverine be together in a movie. While that would be interesting, I just don't know.
they are making Deadpool 3 right now.
Doesn't surprise me. They can go on forever with Deadpool because Deadpool is in love with death, and then he can't technically die, so it's like he could technically go on forever.
I love that. I love Deadpool, man. I mean, that's one of my favorite Marvel movies. Is Deadpool. Because it's rated R. A lot of bucks on that. And all mostly Marvel movies are
PG
PG
13.
13. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Wolverine Origins or one of the Wolverine movies was rated R because of Deadpool. I can't remember which one, but one of them was.
Yeah, Deadpool. He didn't have all that mask. He had a mask on, but you see his mouth and chin in that one. And it was Ron Reynolds on that one too. And he wanted to do a Deadpool. He was part of making Deadpool.
Uh, I don't know. I keep looking at all these movies, and Old, which is a M Night Shagalala Ding Dong movie, it looks pretty good. I'm just not. I just hope that it's better than some of his past movies, because really, honestly, the only real M Night Shagalala Ding Dong movie I really like. I mean, I like his movies because they're good, especially with Unbreakable and Split and whatever the other one was, Glass. That was M Night Slightly, right?
I guess.
Uh, but Devil, I'm pretty sure is an M Night Shyamalan Ding Dong movie. That movie was. Have you seen Devil?
No.
About the people trapped in an elevator, and and one of the people in the elevator is the devil,
Uh,
and they spend all the time. They spend the entire movie talking about um the signs that say the devil's here, because they go through and it's like, oh, this was 666, and look at this, and they go through the entire movie explaining it, and these people were trying to figure out which one of them are going to die next, and who is the devil.
okay, yeah, I remember that movie. Yeah, I really do. I don't know where I watched it at.
And And then when you get to the end of the movie and you find out who really was the devil, I was dying laughing when they actually finally revealed who she was. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Oh, and it's an 11-year-old movie now. Is that an M Night Shyamalan Ding Dong? Yep, it's M Night Shyamalan Ding Dong movie.
Wow, what a name, man. What a name. Yeah, I watched that movie. Huh.
What else did he do? Yeah, he did. Okay. Oh, Lady in the Water. I didn't really like that movie. Um,
I don't either.
The Village
Signs.
was okay. Signs. I seen an article where some fan theory was that Signs wasn't about aliens; they were about demons. And then after reading the article, I was kind of like, you know, that actually kind of makes sense because the woman's name is Holy, and they are defeated by water, and and it actually made sense that it could be demons.
I didn't know he made the movie The Happening.
Oh yeah, that was the underwear guy, Marky Mark and the Funky. Yeah, that was
Yes, Mark Wahlberg. Mm,
that movie was weird, dude.
yeah, it was.
I was like, I'm sitting here watching, and they're talking about plants killing us by some kind of thing that they can do to our brains and shit. And I'm like, what? And somehow I ended up with two copies of that movie. One copy I gave to Steven. Somehow I ended up with two copies of them. I don't even know how I ended up with two copies of the movie. And then I think I had three copies of the movie because I think I still have two copies. And I gave away one copy. And I'm like, how the hell do I have so many copies of this movie? But anyway.
I mean, it's a good movie, but it ain't a movie I can watch and watch and watch and watch. So.
Unbreakable, I like it, but I'm kind of bored with it. Even after watching it one time, it was kind of boring because it's like, what?
Oh my God, he done the Sixth Sense.
Yeah, that was a M Night Shyamalan Ding Dong movie.
Boring. Very boring.
Well, I mean, it was boring, but then you had that twist ending, and it was that kind of made up for some of the boringness because if you didn't see it coming, you'd be like, "Oh wow," So yeah,
What the fuck? My nose is so fucking red for some reason now.
that's what you get for doing some of that powder.
I don't do no damn powder.
Oh yeah, M Night Shyamalan Ding Dong did the Last Airbender. If After Earth the one I think it is that was the Will Smith one? Yeah, that was Will Smith and his son. That movie sucked.
Boring.
That movie sucked. It was almost as bad as that one with what was it, Battle Earth ED or whatever that one was with oh, my brain just went blank. What is that fucker's name that did like Face Off and Broken Arrow and
Christian Slater.
the other one, the other dickhead,
Oh yeah, John
Travolta. Yeah, After Earth. I have seen lists that actually ranks that as the number one worst movie of all times. Not of that decade, not of that year, but of all times. And, you know, I have to agree because there is so many movies I can watch that sucked that are like 10 times better than that movie. I don't even know how that movie got greenlit. Because that movie is like, I'm sitting here watching that movie for the first time. I'm like, and this is back, when Travolta was okay.
Yeah.
And it's like, what?
A couple movies is one of my favorites. It's Face Off.
Yeah, Face Off.
Yeah, this is damn good movie.
And that was even back when Nicolas Cage was a decent actor.
Yeah.
And I even watched one of the newer Nicolas Cage movies, okay? I watched this movie called Ninjutsu, right? And I saw Nicolas Cage was in it. I was like, oh, this might be actually pretty good. No, No, it wasn't.
Do you know why he's making all these movies?
Probably for the same reason that Wesley Snipes was in that weird ass alien abduction movie that he was in, and I'm like, why am I watching this?
No, he
He's broke.
broke and he was in debt, so he had to make all these movies to pay and everything because he was broke and
Doesn't surprise me. That's probably why Wesley Snipes is making all these shitty movies. Because that alien movie that Wesley Snipes is in, where the people get abducted by aliens and then something they have powers. I'm like, and then it even leads it to where you're like wondering if they're real or not, because when they're in the alien ship and he goes around looking at the people and they're kind of like being remade alien-ish, and it's like, what? So yeah, I mean, I have seen some shit on Netflix, and let me tell you, I'm like, I'm never gonna get my hour or two back after watching these horrible flicks. It's like,
like
oh,
fucking army of dead.
Army of and the girl. The other thing I was going to say about the girl from Army of the Dead that played the alpha zombie female is that she's a stunt actor, so she pretty much did all her own scenes in the movie and all that, and she's highly skilled because it shows. I watched a video of her doing gunplay and all this other stuff, so she's more than qualified. It's just a shame she was in such a shitty movie that tried to be Zombieland and all other zombie movies, a comedy. Of course, I have to admit, one of the cool things about that movie was the zombie tiger. I did like the zombie tiger that was one of Siegfried and Rory's tigers. I did like that. That was pretty cool. I did like that.
Did you know that the chick they asked if she can fly the helicopter and everything?
Yeah,
They had another chick doing that part.
I saw that.
Then they changed it to her, and then
Yeah, she wasn't even from what I seen from behind the scenes thing. She technically wasn't even in the movie. They pretty
no,
much green screened her
yeah,
entire. And while watching that movie, I'm like, why does this seem so? Why does her character seem so weird during this? Like,
mm-hmm,
the colors was a little off and everything. And I'm sitting here going, why does that character just seem so weird? And then I found that out. I'm like, oh, so that's why they pretty much had the scenes where they were never really the scenes that they wasn't together because she was off doing the helicopter shit.
yeah, when they were talking, asked her if she wanted to do it. It was going back to them and back to her, back to them and back to her.
And then the scene where she was together with the guy, it was actually her looking at a green suit, a guy in a green suit looking up and talking to a stand-in that they were gonna put him in. So
Yeah, I mean, Dave Bautista and that woman never worked together on that movie at all.
I mean, I guess that's the new way of calling in and a thing, but like getting on the phone and calling in vocals, but you um or green screened into a movie. I was watching a thing about things that were created, like they was talking about the green screen stuff, and they was talking about how Captain Falcon and the World of Tomorrow, whatever, with Angela Jolie, that really old ass movie where the entire set was green screen, and then they had anything the actors had to interact with was physically there, but everything else in the movie was technically green screen, kind of like what was that movie where? Oh, Sin City. It's kind of like Sin City, but it was like the first movie to use that effect, and then they was talking about how they did Pirates of the Caribbean and not Airbender, but the Avatar, which they're coming out with a second movie of, and
Oh my
how
God.
they had cameras to uh, light and get facial expressions so they could put it on CG characters and shit. I found that shit fascinating, and I'm glad that technology has gotten so far where we can do this kind of shit now. Even though some of the movies, oh, they was also talking about how the Matrix, doing bullet time for the first time, and then having like 1,000 Mr. Smith, not Mr. Smiths, but whatever the bad guy was in the movie. And then I seen a fan theory that said that in the Matrix, the humans actually won, and they just allow the robots to think that they won, so that humanity could just chill and live the good life while the machines just slaved away and did everything for humans. And then because it would explain why when everybody came out into the real world, everybody had trouble feeding everybody and everything. So it's kind of like, well, that does make sense. And the crazy thing is, and I have no problem with it. It's just that I just wish that there was more and better movies out. I mean, like that one movie I want to see about that cabin or whatever that this dude built, where when the girl goes in, looks at the front, the numbers are right, and then when she goes around to the back, the numbers are reversed, and then she could walk in on herself and see her sleeping because it's the whole. When you go through the back door, you're invisible, but the person can hear, your creaks and everything, and it looks like it's going to be a really good movie. I want to see that. I'm glad I seen Spiral, even though Spiral is kind of one of those movies where it's Saw, but not Saw, if that makes any sense. Because, yes, it has the Saw traps, and yes, it's kind of cool to see Chris Rock in a movie and using his production company to create a Saw ish movie. But I was kind of disappointed that it wasn't. It was Saul, but without having John Kramer in it. It was Kramer, right? The mastermind behind the whole Saul stuff.
Yeah.
I was kind of glad, they mentioned them and everything, and some of the traps were kind of cool. I think one of to me, after watching all the movies and seeing all the traps and seeing how it played out, I think one, and I don't know if I told you about anything in this movie, but I think one of the best traps for me is the very first trap you see in the movie, where this dude goes down in the subway, he gets captured, and because the guy lied in court for so many times and everything, that his thing was to rip out his own tongue before the subway came to him and hit him. And I think I think that one and one other was pretty cool traps. Then the other was kind of I just can't like the traps in that movie.
I just don't understand. They just leave it alone
What do you mean leave it alone?
after Saw 7.
Oh, they're gonna come back and do Saw 8, 9, and 10, maybe, but they're definitely gonna do it. But they've left it where they can come back and actually do a Saw 8, and
Look,
it actually be part of the main franchise.
and like Fast and the Furious.
Oh,
Oh my God.
they're supposed to go to 11 and then just stop, I think.
They need to leave it alone. They have the Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, and now they got John Cena in it.
Well, all wrestlers want to go to big budget movies. Too bad for Triple H. I think it didn't work out for Triple H because his only movie that I remember him being in was Blade 3?
Yeah.
And then they had what's his name that was in that Midnight Train movie or something where he was the killer or something with a hook. I think it was a hook.
You talking about Cain like
Yeah, I think it was Kane.
see no evil,
Maybe that's it.
see no evil, and see no evil too.
And then
I think I kind of liked it, man.
it was decent. And there was okay, so Triple H only good movie was or only movie I remember him being in was Blade. He could have been in others, but I only remember Blade 3 and I thought Blade 3 was hilarious.
He isn't in another one called uh
But
Chaperone.
but I think he also does some stuff in video games. No, that was John Cena. But
No.
somebody does something for video games. But I think the funniest part to me in Blade, other than Ryan Reynolds, is when they're talking about that vampire, and they talk about her fangs being in her vagina. That to me, for whatever reason, is like hilarious, and it cracks me up every time I hear that line.
Talking about teeth and vagina, vagina.
Oh, we're gonna go
vaginas.
there.
Have you watched that movie Teeth?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh my God, stupid and horrifying, man. What if like a woman did had teeth
Well, the thing
and a
about that movie
vagina?
is, I believe I own that movie because I got that one and Hard Candy, which that Hard Candy movie was just weird. And I'm watching it, and I'm going through the movie. I'm like, okay, so since she has teeth in her vagina, she bit the guy's finger. Okay, da 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 da. And then we get to the end. Spoilers, but you probably don't care because the movie sucks anyway.
Yeah.
Her and her brother or boyfriend, whatever the fuck it was supposed to be, have sex, and he, is all into it, and then he remembers that she has teeth in her vagina, and she basically bites off his wiener and then drops it on the floor for the dog to eat or whatever and lets the dude bleed out. And I'm like, that was already used. That was used in Hostel 2 or
One.
1, where she removes that guy's wiener and then feeds it to the dog. I mean, that was already used. Come
One
on.
or two, I don't know.
I think it was the second one, but I can't remember. One of them ends with her taking the guy's wiener and pulling it all, and you seeing like the tube or whatever attached to the wiener come out too, and she feeds it to a dog.
And there's another movie.
Maybe that was like the post credits thing, where after she went through that entire thing, it was like a little hidden little extra little thing, and then to close it off. It was one of the two. I can't remember.
There's another movie with a woman cut the guy's penis off. It's called I spit on your I spit
Oh,
spit
yeah, I forgot about that
on your grave.
I forgot about that movie.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
another movie that was really weird to watch was that what was the name of that movie where something about grave where the girl had a curse put on her and she had to have the curse removed, and then she goes through the entire movie. Maybe it was Hell or something, where she goes through the entire movie trying to remove her curse, and then she realizes the curse wasn't removed, and then she gets hit by a train or something at the end. I can't remember. It was one of those really weird movies. I'm like, this is boring as shit. Oh, and Skeleton Key. That was another weird ass movie that I was sitting here watching.
yawn.
And I kept waiting for something cool to happen, and then the big reveal, and I'm like, that's it? I mean, Doctor Sleep, which is a book that Stephen King wrote with somebody else, is 10 times better than that movie. And it wasn't even that great of a book, and it ain't really that great of a movie, but it's still 10 times better than that. In fact, it was 10 times better than the movies we mentioned in the last, 5 minutes?
Jesus, I'm talking about Stephen King movies here. Have you watched the movie Storm of the Century?
Yeah, that was a miniseries on TV, and that was boring.
It was a 6-hour movie, dude. If you
I
bought
know.
it on
I
DVD.
I own it. This guy right here bought it because this guy right here didn't know it was a TV movie that was 6 hours long. Bought it, started watching it, realized it was 6 minutes, and was fucking bored.
I mean, it, it got better at the end.
Yeah,
But,
but it took 6 hours.
yeah, because I watched it once and tried to watch it again. I went to sleep.
Even Dome, I think, was a made for TV movie, and it was boring.
Well,
Because I remember watching that one and being like, okay, so they're trapped inside of a dome. And the book was even better because I read the book, and that was like 10 times better. And that's why I wanted to see that series. And then watching the series, I'm like, oh my God, this is so boring. How did they make a Stephen King movie boring?
my favorite movie of Stephen King always going to be Maximum Overdrive.
Maximum Overdrive. One of the movies with Emilio Estevez that isn't bad because I went back and tried to watch the Mighty Duck movies with Emilio in it, and oh my God, bro.
And I hope, and they probably will,
Uh,
in my lifetime, they're going to have another one. The reboot.
they're rebooting everything, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
they have rebooted so many movies. I'm like, why? I mean, I can't even. Oh, they rebooted Halloween with Rob Zombie, which was good. Then they brought back Jamie Lee Curtis and rebooted it. You know, not rebooted, but not rebooted. And then it's like, this is getting so stupid.
I'm just glad they ain't trying to reboot Friday 13th. 2, 3, 4,
Well,
5.
technically, the 2009 or whatever that one was, Friday the 13th, was like the first four movies, three or
Yeah.
four movies. So
Yeah,
technically they did,
but in one movie.
but in one movie. And then they even reboot Freddy Krueger, which was decent.
Yeah, decent.
They're coming out with a Top Gun 2, which I'm probably going to have to go see because I just can't wait to see, this how they're going to, fuck it up. I'm actually surprised that they keep going with the Mission Impossible movies instead of just rebooting that shit. I mean, okay, Tom Cruise, those movies are decent. Tom Cruise does a decent job in the Mission Impossible movies. I didn't think I was going to like them when that first one came out, but they turned out to be decent. What kills me is Limp Bizkit and Metallica and Rob Zombie are the three I remember on the soundtrack for the Mission Impossible 2. And Metallica does that song, hey, 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 here I go now, here I go, and I'm like, why did you guys do such a shitty song for a movie? I mean, even Rob Zombie's Scum of the Earth song is like 10 times better than that. Limp Bizkit's Take a Look Around song, I think it was in the second movie. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the second movie.
It was.
It's 10 times better than your song, and the video for your song sucks. Okay? I mean, there's no denying that the video sucks, and the only thing that sort of makes it cool is the fact that they have Tom Cruise in it climbing a freaking mountain. That kind of makes up for the suckiness of the song in the video, but still, yeah, no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm-mm. It's like, nope.
just hoping Top Gun 2 is okay, man.
I'm kind of interested to see how they handle the relationship between Tom Cruise's character and what was it, Kate or Kim Basinger or what was her name?
Kelly Glenn or something like that.
I'm kind of interested to see how that relationship is going because that was the whole focus. Well, not the whole focus. If we was going to split the movie into parts, 75% of the movie was about their relationship, and the other 25% was actually flying F-16s.
Something like that. And
So,
another part is his best friend and shit.
oh, okay. So we'll say 75% was his relationship with the girl. 24% was about flying the planes, and then the last percent was about his best friend. Because I have to admit, when his friend died in the movie because of that malfunction, that was pretty fucking sad, and I was like, damn, that sucks. But you know, they could have evened that up a little bit better. But whatever.
I'm wondering if his best friend's wife is going to be on the
Oh yeah.
new one, Megan Ryan.
I, for whatever reason, don't think so. Because I think this movie is going to focus more on him being an instructor now at the Top Gun Academy
Yeah.
and his flying and maybe annoying everything else that happens during the first movie. Which, if they do that, that will be sad. But I could see them actually doing it. I mean, I really could see them doing it.
I think it's going to be there's like a reboot and Tom Cruise is like, I remember I was like you, blah, blah, blah.
They could very well have. Well, I think that's supposed to come out in August. But they very well could do that.
It's supposed to come out last year, but thanks to COVID.
Well,
Yeah.
anyway, I think it's supposed to come out in August this year. And I might go to the theaters to see it. I don't know. I think the wife, I think Poople Bear wants to see it. I'm pretty sure Poople Bear wants to see it because she watches that movie way more than I do. Because between Christmas and July, Pretty in Pink, She's All That, The Breakfast Club, the John Hughes movie. She's a fan of the John. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Breakfast Club,
I love Breakfast Club.
and the Pretty in
Mm.
Pink was okay. The She's All That was okay. But I have to admit, after I watched Not Another Teen Movie, that movie basically ruined all those movies for me because every time I go to watch one of those, I just can't get that out of my head. Especially that scene where the guys are spying on the girl in the bathroom and then they all fall through the ceiling and poop is being sprayed all over the classroom. I just can't get that scene out of my head. Or them being in detention and then that toast falling off and then they do the whole Breakfast Club thing and it's like I just can't get it out of my head. It's like, wow, it's hard to watch these movies when you have that there.
It's kind of funny. That was my first DVD I ever bought.
Mine, I'm pretty sure was The Mask, and I got it for free when I bought my DVD player for $600. No, I think that I know I got like 3 or 4 movies for free for buying that DVD player, and I want to say The Mask was one of them. But then I had to go to Sears to buy the DVDs because Sears was the only place around here that had DVDs because nowhere else had decided wanted to carry that shit. Which is kind of funny because later on, when Blu-ray and HD video was competing to be the next big thing, everybody carried that shit. But when DVDs first came out, you had to go to Sears in the Asheville Mall just to buy DVDs. and The Mask. I want to say Twister was one of the first movies I owned. Um, I had like 5 or 6 DVDs I bought just to justify the $600. So I spent like $100. Well, actually, some of them was free. So I spent quite a bit of money on DVDs because they were all like $20. But I know Twister was one, The Mask was another, and I can't remember what the other ones were. But I had all these movies, and I was like, "Oh, this is so great!" And then I started watching DVD, and then people started saying, I don't really see any improvement over VHS. Are you sure it was a smart idea buying a DVD player for $600? And I'm like, oh yeah, but look, and then in all honesty, after seeing Blu-ray and then going back to DVD, it's like maybe it wasn't that great of a thing to jump to DVD. Even though it was cool that you didn't have to rewind it.
Yeah, I don't see a difference of Blu-ray or DVD.
I can see it in DVD. I can even see it in 4K.
But VHS is in DVD. I can tell the difference because sometimes you watch a movie over and over on the VHS, and the little lines comes on the movie because you watch it so much. And
Yeah, you don't suffer from that on DVD.
yeah, well, it skips.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the one thing. Well, see, that's the thing. Okay, so when I was in my 20s, 30s, I always really wanted to have the newest technology. Okay, that's one of the reasons why I got DVD. I always wanted the newest shit. The newest game console, the newest shit. And then when Bush or Obama, whichever one gave us that $500 check, I think it was Obama. I bought my first plasma TV that was the thin. Well, at the time they called it thin because it wasn't like like the old school TVs of the 80s and the 70s, 80s, and 90s. And I bought it, and it was a Vizio or a Vizio, however you want to pronounce it, and it lasted for freaking ever. I got together with Poople Bear, and that TV lasted 3 or 4 years into a relationship before I had to go buy the one that's currently behind me, which that one behind me is technically the biggest TV I have ever owned in my life. So, yay me. And I don't even remember what size that is. That's either a 50 or 60 inch. I can't remember, but I bought it at Walmart. It was a deal at I think $600. And I was like, yay! Oops, sorry.
yeah.
And I was like, yay!
Man, you spend a lot of money on shit. You don't wait on deals or nothing.
And then, well, I still haven't got a 4K TV or even an 8K TV because that TV's still kicking in. And I'm like, well, as long as that TV is alive, I ain't going to worry about getting another TV. And I know the newer consoles do 4 and 8K, and I'm stuck at 1080. But you know what? It works. And that Vizio I had was a 720, and that was the first TV I actually owned that was 1080. So, I can wait. I mean, 4K, yeah, it looks pretty and everything, and 8K looks pretty and everything. And my computers are 4K ready, or the computer I built 7 years ago it was 4K ready at the time, and now everything is pretty much 4K when you buy it. It's like, oh yeah, and so okay.
Like fucking phones now. It's 5G. 5G now. And I bought my phone 3 months ago, 4 months ago, I can't remember. It's still 4G. And it came out in August.
Honestly, my phone that I have is a Samsung Galaxy S21, and it's 5G. And in all honesty, and okay, so it's faster. Of course, the thing is I don't really I don't really know that it's faster because when I'm here, when I'm at my parents' house, and generally when I'm out in public, I'm usually attached to Wi Fi. And that phone, whenever you attach to public Wi Fi, it's like, oh, do you want to start a VPN to protect you? And it's like, yeah, okay, whatever. And you click on the VPN, and then it protects you so that your data doesn't get out there. And it's like, and so, unless I'm at work or somewhere that doesn't have public Wi Fi, I don't really notice, a difference between 4G and 5G. Honestly, I guess I just don't spend enough time with it because, like I said, my parents finally got internet because when I lived with them, I got internet for myself, and my parents were like, "Oh, I don't know why you need internet. We don't." And then mom finally decided she wanted internet because, she got tired of relying on other people, so they got internet. They got internet, so when I'm over at mom and dad's, I'm on mom and dad's Wi-Fi. Here, I'm on my own Wi-Fi. So I honestly don't, and I have unlimited data, and I just don't use it because unless I'm at work. Oh yeah, okay. So at work, I do use the 5G because I listen to music at work on my Bluetooth speaker. That everybody's like, "Oh my god, that thing's so big! That thing must be loud." And then when people hear it at work, they're like, "Dang, that thing is so loud!" And I'm like, "That's why I got it." And so when I'm at work, I'm on 5G. But I mean, honestly, listening to music and watching YouTube in the parking lot while I'm waiting on my managers. That's about all have used 5G for, and I have unlimited data, and it's like, so I'm like,
I never use, like on my new phone I have now, I don't use Wi-Fi. I just use my unlimited data shit.
which is something that
But with my other phones, I do use Wi-Fi. Yeah.
which Straight Talk actually is very reasonable with their rates and their plans and everything with data, text. Because I remember when you got cell phones and you had to pay for text. You pay like a quarter to send, 50 cents to receive, or maybe it was 50 cents to receive and a quarter to receive or something. I don't know. Anyway, it was you had to pay for the text messaging. Your data was separate, and now it's all like together, lumped together. And as much as I hate to say it, because Verizon's pricing, who I'm currently with, pricing sucks. But they have unlimited plans, and I'm like on the second tier of their unlimited plans, which was supposed to get me free streaming on Hulu, Disney Plus, and something else. I don't know, or some sport,
ESPN.
ESPN. And ironically, I didn't use any of that stuff. I'm like, who cares? So I don't really use data. I use Wi-Fi. I mean, it's just the simplest, easiest way for me to do shit. Well, before my parents got internet, I used the 4G, 5G over at my parents' house. But now that they have internet, it's like, yeah. So, and ironically going from 3x or whatever it is to 1G was actually like an incredible feat because they promised 1G or was going to be like, this incredible thing, and it was, and it was like, oh. And then, they came out with 2G and then 3G and then 4G and now 5G, and I'm waiting on 6G and 7G and 8G and 9G and 10G.
You remember when cell phones, like, you gotta pay, like a daytime, you have like a certain amount of minutes of your plan of a month.
Oh, yeah.
And then like after 9 o'clock at night, it's free. and on the weekends it was free.
Yeah, I remember telling people, "Oh yeah, if you want to get in contact with me, make sure it's after like 8 or 9 o'clock because that's when I get free." And they look at me like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, I get free after 8 or 9 o'clock at night on weeknights and then on weekends." And they're like, "Oh, so don't call me when I'm getting charged. Just call me, when I'm getting it for free." And they're like, "Oh, oh, okay."
I think I got 200 minutes a month or
Yeah, it was something
30.
stupid.
I got it at Sprint, and I I had it for a couple years, man. And somehow they said I called Japan.
I don't know.
I didn't pay. Call somebody in Japan,
I remember my experience with Sprint.
and my bill was like $400. I was like, bullshit.
I remember my experience with Josh wanted to get a cellular plan, and he got me and Steven on it because these little phones, these little star phones, I think they was called star phones. They were about the size of your palm, and you only paid a penny for it. So we got it. We got these phones. Josh never told us what or bill part of the bill was because like, oh yeah, we'll pay our part of the bill, no problem. Blah 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 blah. He never told us. We had Sprint, and we eventually lost Sprint because Josh never told us what or part of the bill was. So I've had Sprint, I had U.S. Cellular, I've had Verizon. I've had Verizon a bunch. U.S. Cellular and Verizon was the main two that I stuck with. Um, I did Straight Talk. I did Straight Talk's sister plan. Well, Straight Talk is the sister plan to Track Phone. I've had Track Phone.
Check phone was before Trade Talk.
That's what I said.
Okay.
Because I said Straight Talk was the sister plan to Track Phone.
Yeah.
Because Straight Talk, Track Phone is still technically the parent company. There you go, parent company. Straight Talk is so. Um, I've had a lot of plans of. I've had T-Mobile. Um, yeah, I think that's the ones I've had over the years, and I kept jumping back between U.S. Cellular and Verizon because I liked them the best. And now, well, and Straight Talk. Those were the three that I liked the best. And if anything happens between me and Verizon, I'm going to go back to Straight Talk. Because while I dislike the fact that Straight Talk, you have to wait a year or two after the new stuff is released before you get it on a Straight Talk plan. Um, and they're really, I mean, they're as expensive as they were. Well, they're quite expensive. Uh,
I don't have no plan with them. I was.
well, I mean, I don't. My only complaint with them is that it takes about a
Mm.
year or two for like the Samsung Galaxy S21s to hit Straight Talk.
Uh,
So after their initial release date, a year later, that phone will be on Straight Talk. Fine, that bugs me.
yeah.
But the pricing of the plans have changed. I'm not going to lie. They, you know, 'cause- I mean, I'm glad that they did the 60 for unlimited everything, and then they have the international one, and then they have the low tiered one that isn't everything, but it's not bad. I do like that. Um, Customer service with Straight Talk is a joke because you call their office and you end up talking to somebody in India or whatever, and you're like, you know what? I'll just figure this out myself. Their phones for the most part are reasonable, even if they're Chinese knockoffs. They're reasonable.
A21, like I have, the one I have.
Well, they're mostly knockoffs. Um, I mean, they're made by the company, but they have like cheap knockoff parts inside them. Like even the Samsung phones have like little knockoff parts, so they're not quite as good as the real, but they're not bad either. The plans are good. They since you can choose between the Verizon, U.S. Cellular, T-Mobile, and some others, you have options of what towers you want to use, and I usually go for Verizon or U.S. Cellular since they're the best in this area. And they made it pretty easy to know which one's U.S. Cellular and which one's Verizon. Um,
Mine is Verizon, I think.
um, they're pretty sturdy phones. I mean, they don't break easy. Uh, they have pretty good accessories. So I mean, there's not really much to complain about. And my parents even are using Straight Talk and have used Straight Talk, and I used Straight Talk for like 9 years because right when I got together with Poo Poo Bear, I had some Verizon, then some issues rose, and then I went to Straight Talk. And what's with Straight Talk, and then I just recently went back to Verizon after all these years. So there's that. So I mean, I have no problem with Straight Talk. Straight Talk is a good company, even if their parent company is Track Phone, which was actually which was my second. I want to say it was my second cell phone because the first one was the Sprint, and then after we lost the Sprint phone, we went to Straight Talk and set up some Straight Talk phones, which was the 25 cent, 50 cents, whatever it is for send, receive, and blah blah blah. So it was actually pretty. It's a really good company.
Yeah, I'm just glad it's all unlimited if you want it.
Yeah, it is now.
Yeah,
Of course, everybody's doing that pretty much.
yeah. I mean, I really don't really have to because I use my data, and the most data I use is like 8 GBs and a half, maybe.
Yeah, when I was with
Before,
Straight Talk and
before,
was using their plans, I never used that much data. I mean, when I was with Verizon the time before Verizon did this unlimited stuff the way they're doing it now, but before that, I was constantly hopping around with the data plans on and talk plans on Verizon because we just was burning through that shit. But now, and then when I went to Straight Talk, I hardly ever used a lot of I think one month I'm out of unlimited I used like 10 gigabytes maybe, and that was really that was the most I've ever used. So I mean, and that was like a crap ton of YouTube video watching stuff. So I mean, yeah, I mean it's really decent.
I listen to music on mine. That's the only thing I do. Well, I read on it sometimes now since I've started reading.
Yeah, but music, depending on the quality that you're streaming the music, really doesn't use that much data. Video uses the most data, and
Yeah,
music is like because unless you're listening to high quality or HD music, you don't really use that much data.
like when I'm on YouTube Music, the battery kind of drains faster. But when I go on my music uh, MP3 player thing, the battery don't drain that fast either. I mean, it's
Well, I think YouTube music is one of those things where, because I've noticed this, and I had to go and set it up on YouTube. And this is the one thing that drove me crazy about YouTube music. And I realized this is that on YouTube music, you have to be really careful because you have the ability to listen to music on YouTube music, but you also have the ability to watch the music video on YouTube music. And if you and I had to go in there and specifically check the box that says "Do not play video,"
Mm-hmm.
just to be able to save some gigabytes. And then even if you're not, and then you still have the ability to touch the button on the screen to switch it over to the video, to the music video. If that particular song has a music video, you can switch it over to the video. So you have to be a little careful on YouTube Music so you don't, get bit by the video watching stuff.
Yeah. Cause one time, and it wasn't that long ago, I was like seeing what song it was, and the video was going on. I was like, what the fuck? I think we're staying on Stitch. I was like, I want it on song, not video.
Yeah, so you have to be a little bit careful with YouTube Music. Unlike Spotify and Pandora and what was the other one? One of the other ones just is music streaming.
Amazon, you can buy music and stream.
So I mean, YouTube does switch. And the funny thing is I like to go on to YouTube Music on my web browser when I'm into YouTube and go into the music section and look around in there. And it's kind of interesting that you can, you can have regular old YouTube, and then you can just go into the music part and browse around. Oh yeah, it was Google Music before Google decided to drop that since they bought YouTube, and so they got rid of Google Music, and now everything is YouTube Music.
That pissed me off too. Cause you could buy shit on there and then knock the shit you have on your card, you can put it on there too. But when you buy music on there, and when they went to YouTube Music, it's there. But if you don't want YouTube Music no more, you don't get them albums you bought.
No, I didn't know that.
Because it's uploaded.
Well, that makes sense.
And that's a whip-off. So, all the albums I could get back, I bought on Amazon, or another way, Squashwire.
I don't like. I mean, I used to use BearShare, and the whole thing about them is you could get viruses and everything, but it is what it is. I mean, it's no worse than people going to Pirate Bay and get stuff or, whatever. So, and of course, the thing that's crazy is that now Nintendo has the ultimate, or not Nintendo, well, Nintendo, but Xbox and even Sony does it, has these where you can go in and download old school games onto their newer consoles. Of course, I don't like the way Sony does it. Nintendo, I dig because you can go in there and find, and they have like an emulator for Nintendo and SNES, so you can down, and they give you X amount of free games per, like 3 new games per month, so you like get new games, old games on Switch, so you can play them, and then Xbox. They have that Game Pass, which they've even linked up with EA Sports. So now not only can you get sports games and all the other EA shit, you have all these selections of games and shit to do. It's like, wow, and this is all, and of course you pay a monthly subscription, but you get all these games that you could ever possibly want, and they're like technically free. They're like Netflix. You watch like a shit ton. You can watch a shit ton of movies, but yet you pay a subscription fee. So it's like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, I don't have to. I'm like, this works out really good, Pooper Bear, because I can download these games that I want to play, and it doesn't cost us anything other than the subscription fee. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. I finally got, because I know the 25th was when Mario Golf launched, and I didn't get it on launch day. I waited, and then I bought a physical copy of Mario Golf at Walmart, and it was $10 cheaper than you could actually get it from the store. I'm like, $10. I buy it a physical copy in the store, and I saved $10. Are you kidding me? And then I got home and I played Mario Golf, and Mario Golf is really a fun game, except for I got to this part where you're doing like golfing, and there's like hurricane or tornadoes and different levels and shit, and I'm like, oh. So, and that's interesting, and it has a level up system, so I'm enjoying the Switch still. I mean, even though I don't really game as hardcore as I used to, because my focus has shifted to working on improving or podcast, improving the videos I do on my personal channel. Um, my focus has kind of shifted, so I'm not as into gaming as I was. Which we need to decide what movie to watch for next week so that we can talk about it, because I want to get back to talking movies. Um,
I thought we was gonna watch that Doom movie, or we gonna watch the Purge's movies.
oh, Purge. Yeah, I need to watch The Purge before the end of the month so that I can go see Purge Forever.
Yeah, 'cause I ain't watched the last one yet.
Hopefully, Purge Forever is a lot better than Duke Nukem Forever, because Duke Nukem Forever, I bought that game. And it cracked me up because I went to GameStop to get it back when I actually liked GameStop. Now I can't stand GameStop. And I was talking to one of the ladies that worked there, and she got a kick out of saying like the special editions, like there was like a something like a big balls edition and all these other, and I was just dying laughing. Too bad the game sucked though. I mean, we were waiting 20 something years for another Duke Nukem game, and the game we got was absolute trash. And I'm like, ugh, I can't believe I spent $60 on this shit. And it was trash. But I mean, it's like Cyberpunk 2077. I got it. And Project Red, or whatever the company was, it was glitchy as shit on console. My boss got it on PC because he's going to PC gaming, which I'm sort of thinking about heading toward after this gen of consoles, because I'm thinking about getting the Xbox Series X if I can ever find the damn thing, and that might be the last console I buy, and I may, since I have this computer that we're currently streaming on, and once I get the studio set up, this computer may become a gaming machine. I mean, it has a 1050 Super in it, which is VR. I can hook up a VR set to this thing and it will run it, which was funny. A few years ago, the computer I built 7 years ago with the GTX 7, I think it was a 780 I have in that one Ti, could run VR. But now I looked at it and it says, "No, this ain't gonna run VR." But this computer that we're currently streaming on, it runs VR, and I'm like, really? How much horsepower does fucking VR actually freaking need? Like, for reals? But I mean, I want to try VR. I really do, because I heard that VR can be really cool, especially like the Star Trek game where you're actually like Captain Kirk and you're looking around the bridge and you have Spock off to your side and you're like, "Oh, hey, Spock." That sounds really cool to me, and I've heard that there's some really good horror games on VR that will scare the out of you. So I definitely want to check it out, because I'm currently enjoying Resident Evil 8. That is a really good game. 7 was really good, and I'm really happy that 8 follows the path of Ethan, even though the ending of 7 brought back Chris. And what was funny is I hadn't used my Steam account in a long, long, long time. And then I have Xbox on this computer, and I downloaded Resident Evil because I already own it because I bought it. And then some of the bonus content, and I had the original bonus content that came with the game. And I realized after getting it again that one of the bonus content was not a hero, and it was about Chris, who you meet at the end of the 7 game. And I'm like, wow, they're actually keep bringing out shit for this game. That's pretty freaking incredible, considering how old this shitting thing is. But yeah, I mean, I kind of hope that the Resident Evil games keep going. But at the exact same time, I kind of wish they would bring back some of the old characters and show us what's been happening with them, because I don't because I don't consider the remaster of Resident Evil 7 and 3, showing us what happened, because you have Claire, you have Jill that you haven't really heard from in a hot minute. Chris, you pretty much have been keeping up with. Um, Leo, you pretty much been keeping up with. Leon, I think it is. You've been keeping up with. So maybe tell us what's been going on with the rest of them, because the last time I've heard about Jill was in Resident Evil 5 when she had that brain control thing like they did in the movie. That was the last time I actually remember hearing anything about Jill. I think it was Jill. I'm pretty sure it was Jill. So let us see what's happening with. I mean, I like Ethan. Ethan seems like a cool character, especially after his girlfriend cut his hand off at the beginning of Resident Evil 7, and then the family just snaps it back on his hand, and then staples his hand back together, and they're like, there you go. And then, I guess it heals and it becomes a normal hand again eventually at some point during the game. I don't know. Of course, that whole mold. Oh, yeah. The one thing I like about Resident Evil 7 is not only do they have werewolves in the game, and whatever the fuck lady, whatever her name was supposed to be. I don't know if she was supposed to be a vampire or what she's supposed to be, but that was kind of cool. And then you have the doll. I like the way that Resident Evil 8 is going. I can't wait to see what they do with 9, and I can't wait to see how sneaky they are with the Roman numerals in the later games like 9 and 10, because in 7 and 8 they hid the Roman numerals for the 7 and 8 in the name of the game itself. So that was kind of cool. So I can't wait to see how they sneakily do 9 and 10, because Roman numeral for 9 is 1 and an I and an X. So I can't wait to see how they sneak that in. And then 10 is, of course, an X. So I don't know how they're going to sneak that in. They're just probably just going to end up having to slap the Roman numerals or the numbers at the end of the games again. But I can't wait to see what how they do that. He looks over at the movies that I have over there. See, I have a thing that was technically for. Well, that one is actually technically for DVDs, but I think you can also use them for CDs. So I have a whole bunch of movies over there, and then I have some movies up there, which I think eventually is going to go back to my parents' house,
What?
so that I can my CDs and music, CDs, video games, and movies. I think are going to go back to my parents' house,
Why?
so I can have room.
Why put it at your mom and dad's house? Um,
Well, for movies, just about everything I want to watch is on Amazon or Netflix.
I haven't even watched Netflix that much.
As for the video games, other than Switch, I don't play the video games that I have here, because you can either download them on Xbox, and so you don't technically need the game disc to stick it in the game into the console, and it looks on the internet and it's like, oh, here it is, and then you download it, and then when you play it, even though you downloaded it, you still have to have the game disc. So they pretty much have it free, so there's really no point in having the game disc here. Though I don't know if they have X-Men Origin Wolverine on their thing or Fear, so I might still need the game disc for those. But I can just make room by taking them over to my parents' house, and then
But their room, they might need some room.
see, my bedroom is left exactly the way I left it. In the computer room, all Dad does is sit there and play solitaire all day. One of the solitaires like Spider, Free Cell, blah blah blah. That's what he does in the computer room all day. And then my move, because my dad took because the computer room is my sister's old room, and he basically turned the closet into where my movies went, because I have something like 1,000 something odd movies, and it took 2 rooms to house all my movies, because right behind my door I have a shelf that originally was for my movies, and then I had so many movies, Dad turned my closet into a movie thing, so I technically have 2 rooms of movies. They're not wall to wall, mind you, but it's 2 rooms of movies, because I have like 1,000 something movies. I have more DVDs than I do Blu-ray, but my parents accidentally bought 4K, but luckily with 4K it comes with the DVD slash Blu-ray version. So luckily we haven't had to upgrade their Blu-ray player because they accidentally bought 4K, because my parents don't understand the difference between Blu-ray and 4K. So I have a few 4K videos that I have no way of actually playing the 4K videos because I don't have a 4K player. And I don't even have a TV that's capable of doing 4K. My parents don't even have a TV capable of 4K, but I got a couple 4K videos. But it's all good. I mean, it came with the Blu-ray, so when in doubt, watch the Blu-ray. So, yeah, I might end up taking, because I eventually want to get rid of these shelves. So I want to put her books in a box, and then might get rid of these 2 shelves. And then, but of course, if I do the camp chairs that's against this wall, then technically I could probably frame out the bookshelves and then just have us sitting in the chair. So I don't really technically have to get rid of the bookshelves all that quick. So that's good.
I can't believe we have all them movies, man. I don't have no that much movies anymore.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Pulse. There's 3 Pulse movies, and I think the first Pulse movie is the best. Yeah, I've been collecting DVDs since 96, 97 when I bought my first Blu-ray player or DVD player. And I got a little carried away with them because I was doing DVDs the same way I did CDs, where I would buy like $100 worth of DVDs. And got a little carried away, just a small little bit. So I ended up with about 1,000 DVDs, Blu-rays. Well, I don't have 1,000 Blu-rays. I only have like maybe 20. Well, actually, I've been buying just Blu-ray here lately, so it's probably more than 20 now. But the mass majority of my collection is DVD, with the next being Blu-ray, and then the third being 4K. But yeah, that was the one thing I love to do, dude, was to go to FYE and spend $100 on music, which is 5 CDs. I would go in there, and I had that FYE card, whatever it was, per month or a year thing. And you just go in there, and you're like, yeah, I can buy them, and I can get 5 CDs for $100, and it's all good. Which, looking back on it, probably wasn't that good of a deal. But it's like, yeah, I can buy 5 CDs for $100, and have all this music, and then it's like, oh, movies, yeah, I can buy these movies. So, yeah, I got a little carried away. I mean, I only have, well, between Spooky's ex girlfriends and girlfriends and people, I only have about 5 or 600 CDs now, because I think I have like 3.5 books of CDs. I think, or maybe
Sec-
it's 2.5. I can't remember, but I don't have that many CDs anymore.
Segue about books. How about them whole books today here?
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
See, I did. I subscribed to that Audible service where it allowed you to download audiobooks, and then you look through, and then you see a book you want, and they give you like 1 or 2 free books a month, and then you had to buy the rest of the books, and then you could just have it on your phone, and then you can listen to whoever read you whatever book it is, and it's like, yeah. And then I got to where I wasn't even listening to the audiobooks, and I'm like, you know what, this gotta go. So I just unsubscribed to Audible. But Audible is a very good service if you like to, if you want to have the book read to you. I liked it. I liked the interface. It was really cool. It was really worth it. But I can't even sit down and read a book anymore. I mean, I've been trying to reread it for like over it. It's been a while because I decided I wanted to reread it when the remake of it came out. Before, it's been 3 years because Steven and I went to go see the first It. So it's been about 3 years since he passed. So it's been 3 years since I bought that book, and I've been trying to read it again for the first time since like high school, and I can't even read freaking it. I mean, I got to the part because that book, I didn't remember that book jumped around as much as it did, but that book jumps around a lot because I got to the whole kid, part of the kid part, and then it jumped to where that guy and his boyfriend was in Derry, and that bully threw him off the bridge, and that's basically where, and he filed a police report, and that's basically where I got in the book, and then I watched both it, and I was like, what? And my whole problem with the first It remake, I had no problem with it. It was only like what 2 hours and change or something. But the freaking second part, dude, was like 3 hours and change. And I was watching it in the movie theater, and my butt got tired watching that movie because by the end of the by toward the end of the movie, I was twitching in my seat trying to wake my butt up because it was so freaking long. I'm like, damn, how long is this movie? I mean, they just dragged out that ending, and I like the original TV series of It, but I also liked the remake of It 1 and 2, and but that last, oh man, that second part just dragged toward the end because me and some people from work went to go see that in the movies, and boy, I was just twitching in my seat. I was like, how much longer is this movie? And, and they finally get to the battle of it. I'm like, oh my god, how much longer is this going to be? How much longer is this going to be? And it's like, dang. Which reminds me, I need to rewatch the made for TV It because I want to do a comparison between it and it. So, because I know that the remake of it explained more about the turtle than the original It, because one of the key points in the book is the turtle who accidentally created or released it, and the turtle helped the two boys figure out the thing that they have to do to defeat it. And and I know it isn't in the original made for TV thing about the turtle and everything, because they don't even talk about the turtle in it. There I go again. uh but I want to see, because I need to see what differences they did, because I know there was more of an explanation of, more hints of the turtle in it. And I know that when that one kid can't face it and basically kills himself to avoid from having to fight it again. Of course, it's a little extra little thing to give them a, like a bonus stat when they actually win up against it. Um, no, I think he did. I think the kid that had the inhaler dies in the TV made for TV movie, because he runs up to it and says, "This is battery acid," and sprays it with the thing, and then I think he gets hit against the wall or something and dies. I want to say, but I can't quite remember. It's been so long since I. Do you remember?
Nope. I just watched the It uh, TV It maybe twice because it's so damn long.
Try watching it, remake it back to back. You're gonna be sitting there for like 5 hours watching the entire thing. You're like, oh my
I
god.
went to see the first one in the theaters, but It 2 came out when
Oh, it was the beginning of this year, I think.
last year, you mean?
Yeah, it was the beginning of.
Because that's when all the shitstorm is about to go with me and my ex-wife and all that
Yeah,
shit.
okay, so it was January of last year, because COVID hadn't hit yet,
No.
and I was still rearing from Fat Man's death. Like, yeah, me and Fat Man wanted to go see it, and that was one of our plans, and he died on me, and then everybody has words like, oh, we'll go see movies with you, and that was the first movie we went to go see was It Chapter 2, and
So I ain't watched chapter 2 yet because of all that bullshit.
It Chapter 2. I mean, there is some differences, and I kind of like the differences. Like in the made-for-TV movie, I know that bully bullies the kids, and in the remake, he falls down the well and then ends up making it back into the Barrens, and he gets arrested for killing his dad, which isn't. I don't think it's explained in the made-for-TV version, because I think that was too dark for television.
What time is it, dude?
It is 3:40.
Let me know if I would you charge my phone.
Oh yeah.
The one over there beside your chair, was sitting, not that one. My phone is over there.
Oh, over there. Yeah. As soon as we end this, I'll charge it.
I can do that if we get out, but
Yeah, I'm getting ready. I think we're getting ready to end it, because we're what, 2 hours and 8 minutes.
yeah.
I think we should probably get close to ending it, because it's almost 4 o'clock in the morning, and Poople Bear will be up about 6 to do Bible study. So
I thought it was tomorrow.
no, she does Bible study every day. She gets up at 6 o'clock every day and reads the Bible. And then on Sundays she attends church online. Um, so yeah, she does Bible study every morning
Mm-hmm.
in here. That's why I gotta set up her wheelchair before she gets up, so she can sit right here and do her Bible. Oh, I gotta move this shit off the table, so she can do her Bible study. So
Yeah.
yeah, she does Bible study every morning. She's religious about it.
Uh,
So, which is a good thing. Don't get me wrong, it's a good thing. Everybody should do it, but it's a good thing. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and end it because it's almost 4 o'clock in the morning. So it's about 2 hours before she'll get up and start doing Bible study for about an hour because she's usually done with Bible study by 8:30. So I need to um, get her set up. But yeah, I'm sorry for the late. I'm sorry for being 30 minutes late this morning. I got up this morning. I got up at 11 because I had to go take a crap. And I went and took a crap. Went back to bed for about an hour, and then I just couldn't get going. I was just sitting here watching YouTube, and I'm like, man, I can't get going. I can't get going. And then Hot Wheels was like, it's 1 o'clock. I'm like, oh, and then couldn't get going, and then so we're like 32 minutes late. I'm sorry for that. It's all on me. I couldn't get going this morning because I'm like, and then I, right before we got started, I'm like, hey, it's the 4th of July weekend. I have 2 days off from work. Yeah. And then the extra $100 at work has been extended through my past my birthday in August. I'm like, oh my God, I might have to work this coming Saturday just to get that extra $100.
so what do you do when she's doing Bible study?
Oh, well, I technically go outside for a bike ride or do stuff outside. Is what I generally do, or have put my headphones on and try to be quiet while watching YouTube.
And what we going to do for this?
I have no idea. I didn't plan this very well. I know that she does Bible study for about an hour and a half. Yeah, an hour and a half. So I have no idea what we're going to do. We may have to go outside for a little bit just to be quiet so she can study. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and knock it out. That way I can set her up, clean off this table because I got to clean up this area. And I'm still what so what do you think about should we go ahead and start recording episodes or should we still just do the weekly Saturday thing?
I don't know.
Because part of me wants to just do the weekly Saturday thing and then start the recording stuff next year with the once a week live stream, and then everything else is pre-recorded because that would give me a chance to get the studio set up and put some crap up on the wall, and so we can be. I mean, we're sitting here in the camera. We're not, and this isn't the most optimal way to do this. And I can't wait to actually get the camp chairs and do everything because I think that will be better. Though I do need to get better lights and everything because even though these lights work, I want to improve my light situation. So, um, I think we'll end it. So, do you want to start off?
Yeah, thank you uh for everything. It's always fun. If you like us on YouTube, put a thumbs up, subscribe, and want to know when we go live, go to the bell, not and let you know when we go live. And we love doing this. It's fun. And as all peppy there, here's some Mountain Dew here. Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
Do.
Undo the doo doo.
But yeah, I enjoy it, and we enjoy it, and I'm in Hot Wheels over here, and I let Truster finish it off here.
So we'll be back, same bat channel, same bat time. Well, same bat channel, same bat time. Maybe next week because I may actually work Saturday for that extra hundo, since you have to work 6 days a week to get it. And since I'm not working Sunday, that technically knocks that out the box unless I work Saturday. But generally, same bat channel, same bat time. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. We hope you guys had fun. We hope it was entertaining and educational and all that good stuff. And we'll see you guys next time. Deuces.
Later.